Most of the foreigners are attracted to Vrindavan, are attracted to Krishna. Is there any reason why foreigners get attracted to Lord Krishna?
They find practical realization.
There's a lot of Indians know who Rama is, who Krishna is. Why are we not getting convinced to follow a regulative life, to give importance to spirituality?
When you ask that why Indians are not serious about it sometimes or very often, is because they think they know it already.
Hi, welcome to KC Talks. Hare Krishna Swamiji.
Hare Krishna.
We see a lot of foreigners coming and joining ISKCON. So this was a trend when Prabhupada went to West in 1966. But we see that most of the foreigners are attracted to Vrindavan, are attracted to Krishna. Is there any reason why foreigners get attracted to Lord Krishna?
Yes, there is very much a reason. You see, we practice our religion out of cultural and you can say religious compulsions or traditional, because it's a tradition, you are supposed to do that. But they are doing out of realizing something.
Okay.
When they get out of it something.
Mm-hmm.
There are no sentimentality attached here. It's Indian thing. And if Krishna is Indian, what they have got to do with it? Like dictionary says Krishna is Hindu god. What have they got to do with that? They have their god or gods there. So the reason foreigners come to Krishna consciousness is because they find practical realization. They find, as Gita says, 9th chapter, Susukham kartum avyam, pratikshavagamam. It's like you pop in a rasgulla or a gulab jamun, you know it. You don't need certificate from the confectioner. So they are actually getting something out of it. In my travels I have seen, like Moscow -18.
Okay.
Mangala Aarti, I thought, okay, I'll just go last minute. Temple Hall, it was that time way back, it was in Dynamo area.
Okay.
Dynamo, and temple was full. People are all, cars are queued up, temple is packed.
Morning
4:30.
Morning 4:30 at -18 degrees.
-18, it's packed. Then I've seen a Muslim village in Indonesia. We drove from Jakarta, ferry, 2 ferries, and drove for a day and a half in middle of nowhere. We arrive 11 o'clock at night. Then I just thought, okay, it's a PR issue also. Got to show up at Mangala Aarti 4:30. I thought anyway it's a remote place. Still I said, okay, let me just show my face. I see the whole village, from 89-year-old lady, a letter I found, eldest is 89 or 90. And 3-month-old babies, with mother's arms. Everybody, whole village is there. So I just asked, are they just for we have come as visiting guests? No, that's everybody attends. So point is, and to refrain from, they don't eat meat, fish, egg, not even tea and coffee.
Okay.
In Siberia, everybody follows Ekadashi.
Okay.
And no tea and coffee even. So they are getting a higher taste. And that's how, not out of any sentiments or tradition, who cares for Indian traditions or Indian, but they are getting, why? Because the presentation is genuine.
Okay.
Authentic, 124 karat gold.
Okay.
And that is, process is genuine, so it's having result.
Okay.
So that's how actually a foreigner, as you step out of India, either you are dealing with mostly either Christians, you can be Catholic, or in case of Russia, you are dealing with, Orthodox Christians, or it's Muslims. And, so point is, they're getting something out of it. Very, and that's how you see, massive interest.
I have another question.
हाँ
So
जी.
when I'm born to an Indian family, born to a Hindu mother, father, I know about Krishna, I know about Rama.
Right.
So because I'm asking this question because you told that in India there is a sentimental approach. But for a foreigner, it is not a sentimental approach. Something is working out for him. He's getting taste. That is the reason he's getting convinced. My question is, a lot of Indians know who Rama is, who Krishna is. Why are we not getting convinced to follow a regulative life, to give importance to spirituality? And what is that foreigner who has left their parents, who was once a drunkard? They don't have a moral fabric and a cultural fabric at least.
You see, in our case, the thing is, familiarity breeds contempt.
Okay.
As they say, ghar ki murgi dal barabar.
Yes.
So we think we know already,
Yes.
So it's not that we are just sentimental. That's not. I wouldn't say that's. I would say that's not the right word. But we follow. Okay, Janmashtami. Everybody is fasting or doing midnight puja. So I am supposed to do. It's not that I am doing out of my my own initiative. Often this is the case.
So you mean to say that most of the Indian families we do because of a societal pressure, or because everybody is doing, I'm bound to do?
No, it is not. We cannot generalize.
Okay.
But there are cases like that. There are definitely serious devotees in India. India is a land of devotion.
Okay.
Land of devotees. So it is not that people, why they will queue up to Balaji or any temples, like 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, they queue up. So then any religious gathering, there are thousands, in the hot sun they'll be sitting. So, but my only point is that we have a background, but they don't. So, when you ask that why Indians are not serious about it sometimes or very often, is because they think they know it already. And this bhakti process, Gita, you see, Gita, once you tweak things, it's like a car mechanic. If a screw is loose somewhere or carburetor something, it just doesn't work that way. Evam parampara praptam, exact process you apply, you get the result. And that's what is happening in their lives. And I tell you this point, when we problem with Indians sometimes is we are half pretending to be asleep. Yep. You see, somebody is in deep sleep, slumber, you just make a noise or shake, wake up. Wow, what happened? He'll wake up or she will wake up, in an instant.
Yeah.
But somebody, how do you wake somebody up who is pretending to sleep?
Very nice. I really loved this logic.
So our problem is we are trying. Oh, I know. हमने पढ़ लिया है गीता सब हमने पढ़ लिया. It doesn't know ABCD.
Yes.
So word to word, and I mean, see this. I've seen overseas the kind of serious Islamic Muslim families and how serious they are about their Krishna consciousness, in service, in how methodical. And, generally in the industrialized countries and developed many countries, whatever they do with seriousness.
Okay.
So when they got introduced to Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti, they did it with all seriousness,
Very nice. So Swamiji, one more thing I want to know. When I meet my niece, nephew who are born and raised in America, and whenever I have seen people overseas, they have a very, I feel that they are more, their moral fabric, their integrity fabric, their ethics, value systems are more grounded. They only mean what they speak. They don't lie unless until it is very much necessary. But when you go to a small town of India, you see people are very show off, very pretentious. They don't mean what they talk. So why Hindu society or an Indian society, people are complex?
So exactly what has happened is Srila Prabhupada, that's why he went to West.
Hmm.
That their habits are not so good, but their hearts are good. They may be eating meat, they may be drinking, they may be, having affairs. Point is, the heart habits are not so congenial, but their hearts are simple. And here we may be dealing with a very high class, learned Brahmin with doing everything, but he is carrying so much baggage, So, you see, sincerity. So, what happens is, you see, Mahabharat, when the onset of Kali Yuga, or this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, when it is about to come, so the discussion, she is being informed, Mother Satyavati, the Pandavas, now you better to leave the kingdom and go to forest to practice spiritual life, because age of Kali is coming. Now what's the symptom given there? People will lie in ordinary dealings. In their so lying is allowed in exceptional apad dharma, exceptional circumstances, and that is also given. Like 5 things are generally, I won't get into all that, but point is when to save somebody's life. And it's mentioned, I don't think we should do that or copy that, but even in sometime marriage affairs, there are conditions set. In emergencies lies, but in ordinary dealings, when people start lying, then we should know this is Kali Yuga. Lying, so today lying, cheating, and it's just that there is so much baggage, the complex life, complex thinking, and every second auto driver and a cabbie and vendor and everybody is trying to cheat. It's just that some countries things are very straightforward and they become the right candidate to accept this process. As they say in Hindi, der aaye durust aaye. They may be late in taking up, but they take it very solidly.
Yes.
Like Japanese people, very hard to push Krishna consciousness there, because they are such a big workaholics. Japanese are.
Yes.
And they are, so Prabhupada said, apparently I was told by a devotee that Japanese will probably be the last one to take up Krishna consciousness en masse.
Okay.
But they'll be the best, because whatever they do with lot of precision. So when you see their worship, I've seen in many countries, it's just so fabulous, so methodic, so it is, and God reciprocates. You do, and I mean, they don't take it as a miracle. Actually, they see miracles in their lives.
Yes.
And shall I tell you, I was like having breakfast in, Copenhagen, I was sitting with everybody. And the president says, Prabhuji, if we don't use much butter, there is a bowl. If you want, you can add. I said, no, it was khichdi and other things. I said, no, I'm good. And he commented while eating, yeah, probably we had to reduce the butter in cooking because the dresses of Gaur-Nitai deities, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, were becoming tight, and it's a very expensive to import. Vrindavan they have to order, and then I said, now we reduce the butter. Now dresses are fitting. Yeah, I said, absolutely, they are fitting now. So there is no surprise for him. Like that, I can tell you so many stories.
So for them, it is very natural to believe.
Natural to believe.
For an Indian, it is like, this is sentimentalism.
So for them, I tell you, they have realizations. Every devotee who comes to Krishna consciousness from those cultures, from those countries, has some experience. Otherwise, on some some Indian book or Indian god, what they have got to do with it?
Yes.
So there is some very solid background is there.
Because of innocence, because they don't know who Krishna is, who Rama is, but then they once they take it with heart.
Another thing is, as like they say, two students went to piano teacher. He said, I have already been taught, I have 1 year. So how much? He says, you'll be $100. Then a novice, second one is a novice. How much? It will be $50. I have already been taught. And you are charging me double. Well, that double price is because I have to make you unlearn what you have learned. So our case, the problem is there is too much hodgepodge. Our brain is filled up with so many contradictory philosophy we have learned. As they say, little knowledge is a dangerous thing. That's what is happening in our case. We just, I know this, हम सब पढ़ लिया, सब वेद पढ़ लिया. वेद का स्पेलिंग नहीं मालूम कि वेद का धातु किस धातु से बनता है. वर्ड का मतलब नहीं मालूम. And they simply, so they are not serious about. Then it doesn't work that way.
So you mean to say that the foreigners, when they take something, they take it with full integrity?
Yes, and the process works amazingly, and that's what we are seeing,
So innocence is what Krishna likes.
No, इसी छल कपट जो है, कुटी नाटी, as we say in that, what happens is God, a simple heart is conducive for. So seed of bhakti can be sown in simple heart, and a crooked heart with lot of diplomacy, diplomatic dealings. Actually, bhakti is very simple. Our life is very simple. We insist on making it complicated. So bhakti is very simple for simple people, but bhakti is impossible for people who are not simple.
Yes.
And problem is we are not advancing in bhakti, or not realizing, because even after coming to this path, we don't give up our crookedness, our smartness. We want to outfox God, We think we are smarter than Him. So point is, we got to believe God is at least as smart as I am, if not.
Nice.
So God is, they want to use God. Towards their end, rather than serving God, they want to make God their servant. And this has become a business industry today. Kathakars, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry today in India.
Yes.
Every kid in Vrindavan is aiming to learn few verses, very serious studies, and they just get into talk, and people are not, Indians sometimes are not serious in anything we do.
Yeah, very careless.
Care chalta hai. A product you guys just breaks apart, after a few days. So point is, bhakti requires seriousness, sincerity, a grain of sincerity, truth is better than a truckload of, like a small diamond is more precious than truckload of bricks or sand. So we need, this is very, what you call, process is very simple, application is difficult. You got to give up, become simple, because you got to know Lord is actually watching. Lord knows ins and out. You don't outfox Him,
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for this explanation, and it makes a lot of sense now, when we see, even in a normal materialistic dealings, dealing with a foreign crowd is a little less troublesome. Have to,
as an IT, probably.
As an IT professional, when I speak to somebody, if he knows the answer, he says, I know. If he doesn't know, he says he doesn't know. But if you ask the same thing to an Indian counterpart, though he knows or he doesn't know, he still gives you an answer. He still give you an answer, and then, it's a little complicated, but I can understand from what you say that the foreigners have simple heartedness. At least the people who take spirituality, they come in a real quest
Yes.
to seek spirituality.
And the process has to be genuine. Authentic process as received in disciplic succession, then it works. Works miracles.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Swamiji, for this. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.